There's a time in everyone's business where they're ready or desire to create extraordinary growth. And the question is, do you want to do that by being more or by doing more and more? And that's where the blend of the masculine and feminine energies apply. Hello, it's Ingrid Woodward here, and welcome to your sanctuary. So what I'm about to share with you is some ways to connect with your masculine and feminine energies in your business, particularly in your business, to achieve the growth that you really want or have desired to materialize or see in your business. So if you found yourself circling recently or reached a plateau, or even that if you've ever felt like you're behind or you're not good enough, or wondering why some people are ahead of you and you're questioning if it's worth it, I want to share something with you that you need to hear. I bring energetics and mindset work into business and personal life to break through and achieve the growth, not by doing more, but through aligning with the inner vision, that inner version of you that's always out in front of you, paving the way ahead. I help you to connect the dots and work with that inner being and your life plan to achieve your life purpose. And with that, I use a combination of the Akashic records, my intuition, and healing modalities, along with the sacred money archetypes to support my clients so they remember their birthright. And through that, they can achieve rapid growth results, incredible results for themselves and their clients. So we're simply collapsing timelines and things that would take them 3, 5, 10 years to achieve. They're doing it in months and years, and sometimes weeks or days. They've built their business with advanced energetic transmissions so they can impact both not just their lives, but also the people around them and the clients that they're serving as well, because they're bringing their true, full, bold, unfiltered self. And it's really beautiful to see the shift when we work on balancing out those energies and, that bit of the blend of the purpose and the business growth was bringing the fullness of who you are into that. So I'm guessing that there isn't anyone here who started a business without the desire to make an impact, enjoy more freedom, more money, and achieve the quantum leaps that they had envisioned in their minds. But somewhere along the line, somewhere along the way, that all got distorted. So the question now is, do you want to continue doing that by constantly doing, or do you want to self-reflect and take some aligned action through being more of who you are, embodying that version of you that you have been filtering out or maybe hiding or downplaying? Because what I've found and what I've seen is a lot of women, and myself included, feels that we have to prove ourselves. And that just leads to burnout creeping up on us in the process. And we continue to work and carry everything else on our shoulders. We have to look after the children, we have to look after the home, do the school run, the football run, all the things, that we carry on top of wanting to serve and lead in our business. And it can get tiring, of course, and it leads to exhaustion, it leads to stress, the feeling that you want to give up because you look at others and you self-compare and you see that they're way out ahead of you, or you think they're way out ahead of you, or other entrepreneurs are more successful than you. But the truth is, when you think like that, it's like you're eroding yourself spiritually and emotionally. And yet you can create timing in your schedule to think, to contemplate, to read, and just be in your presence. And by doing that, you're bringing more of you, more of your energy, more of your feminine and masculine energies into your awareness. So the question I want to ask you is, how much time a day do you spend, or a week, just allowing yourself to think, to be? Because we don't appreciate it, and it's just those times when we take the time out that the universe is organizing things for us to unfold in our favor. So, here's why when we're constantly planning and doing and, there isn't any space available, we're not creating or allowing things to unfold for us, because we're not giving that place, we're not giving the space to do that. And I recognize, it takes practice to bring your voice and listen to your intuition, because that allows you to bring your product or your service more fully to the world. And it takes trust and belief that what you have is of service to the world. And that's all the inner work. That's all the inner world work that we need to do. It's your frequency, it's your strength, it's your vulnerability. It's just your everything. Going within and then balancing it out with the external vision allows you to create or generate the expansion that is your true value. It connects to a higher frequency. So you have to allow and let it unfold naturally. And that takes listening to what's going on inside, even if it doesn't feel aligned, for the miracles to happen. So of course, you might say to me, yeah, Ingrid, how can you say that when I have these bills piling up? Who am I going to pay next? Or even where is the next client or piece of business going to come from? And I hear you, I see you, and I've traversed that terrain myself. And I'm not going to sit here and promise you that everything will be rosy or your energies are going to be balanced in just this one video. But what you will take away and what you'll be fully empowered with is to know that in your strength, looking from within, you can see your situation very, very differently. And you can start with seeing the blessings that are unfolding from where you are. And if you can reframe that into seeing your circumstances and seeing your business flowing through you, knowing that everything is working out for you, and it's bringing you closer to the things that you're desiring, to the lifestyle you're desiring, to the freedom that you're wanting, and you believe that and you embody it and you live from that, every step, every integration, every balance starts from where you are. And that's when you start to come in more and more into the fullness of you, the fullness of ourselves. Because we are so much more than this physical body. And a lot of times, most people forget that. And also, but to do that, sometimes we do need some help. I was doing and not seeing any results. And then I just decided to let go of that approach, because that was what I was used to. That was what was carrying me through my corporate career. In exchange for doing, there was a reward. There was my paycheck, a reliable paycheck at the end of the month, or, bonus at the end of the year. But by accessing my Akashic records and reading my business energetics, that showed me how I can show up more fully and more in alignment with who I am, and use the traits that I was dismissing and ignoring to access where I was overcompensating or underplaying that divineness, that empowered side of me, and also where I was ignoring or overlooking the shadows of the inner child work that needed acknowledgement. And that's for another time. That's another video that I'll do separately on, overcoming that shadow self and working on that. But what I can guarantee you is that little by little, you'll start to fulfill your potential to live the life that you desire and build the business that you dream of, and to have the effect and impact in the world and the change that you have dreamt of. Because right now I see sort of these formulaic roles in society and these frameworks that are still playing out, and people not realizing or underappreciating the powerful beings that they are. And so there's a dominance of the masculine or reliance on the feminine. And in business, particular business, this is a world where that's no longer sustainable. Business needs that combination of the masculine and the feminine energy. And I'm not talking about the male or the female. I'm talking about the energetic traits, that balance between the vision, the ability to see, the intuition, those are the feminine qualities that we sort of say, oh, well, that's too feminine, it's too emotional. That nurturing and sort of detachment from the outcome. There's sometimes those hits that you get and it's something that you need to follow up on, you need to follow through on, or you've got to speak your voice without it being edited or filtered. That truth, and then taking the action from that place. And then there's that masculine piece, which is also needed in business, to have the strategy, that must be executed upon and then followed up on in terms of action and goal setting, etc. The looking at performance and how well something is doing. Having the blend of both, that the vision, the execution, the strategy, and also the voice and speaking is evidence of that we are both masculine and feminine energy. And we have this infinite resource of possibilities and choices that are available to us, that I now know to be even more than possibilities across the spectrum. They're more than possibilities. There are now probabilities that you can access. And these characteristics are designed to support us. But unfortunately, over the years, what's happened is that they become distorted in our cells and our DNA, and we forget. And so the magic now is to nurture the intention and remember, engage in that support of the divine or source, the creator, universe, whoever it is that you can relate to. And that's the beauty of the feminine, all the while with the masculine, wants to step in and be that provider. And it takes strength and it takes courage to bring those two together, because, people might say, well, you're stepping out of character, what's going on? But to know that when you combine the two and take action from that place, you are making deposits, you are contributing to the outcome, even though you may not be able to see the evidence straight away. So now let's talk about the distorting patterns that can also show up in your business and derail the exact thing that you're wanting. So for the feminine energy, this is about sourcing your approval from the outside. You outsource your approval. That constant search or need for validation, just trying to be somebody or somebody else that you're not, or trying to replicate someone else's success because it appears to work for them. That is distorted. Because when she or he is in their full feminine energy, they're fully within themselves. They're fully aware of their life, regardless of where you are. You're emanating it from the inside in. And approval comes from within. You're not waiting for the approval. You don't have to wait to move, or you don't have to overgive. You're holding that energy both for you and your clients, and then you're allowing them to find their own way whilst you're holding that safe space for them. And then the distorted pattern for the masculine is that over-reliance on action, where you literally become a slave to taking action instead of allowing things to unfold or taking intuitive action. You're driven by let's go, let's go, let's go, let's do. And in business, this is where you can trip up, because in the marketing side, you need your feminine energy, and in the sales, you need your masculine energy, and for processes and systems. So by having that process or that structure in place that allows you to build those two, so you might use your masculine energy to build your funnel, but equally use your feminine energy for expressing your marketing. And when you're exuding that expression of self-trust, where you notice where in your business that you're leaning into one pattern or another, and you can see those belief patterns playing out and then taking action to, I guess, counterbalance them or address them, that is phenomenal work. So I would ask you to say, where in your business are you leaning into one or the other patterns that are distorted? Because on the one hand, you might be overgiving and not charging. And then on the other hand, you might be so focused on systems and processing that you're not actually marketing or, sharing what you're about. And so one way of unblocking yourself in your business is to take actions that totally feel misaligned and just way outside your comfort zone. I guess it sounds counterintuitive, but it's one way of breaking the patterns, and another way of setting the boundaries to set things in place where you're challenging yourself whilst you're giving your clients their power back. Because if you feel that you have to give and give, or, share this or take their calls all the time or whatever it is, that's just your ego or aspects of your personality that's working to protect you and keep you safe. So the nuance is to understand or work through, when is your personality or ego at play that's actually sabotaging you? And when do you need to lean more into the masculine or the feminine? Because if you have this inner power available to you, you can tap into rapidly growing your business through that blend of masculine and feminine energies when they're balanced together. So what I want to leave you with is this. You cannot compare yourself with other people, particularly when you're comparing the level or stages that they're at in their business to your business. Because our energies and our timelines, or your energy and my energy, your timeline, my energy, we're all on different timelines. We're all on different unique paths. But what you can do, you can give yourself the advantage by knowing and working with a balance of feminine and masculine energies to grow faster. And that is just calling you back into alignment. So this is asking you to show up differently. It's asking you to apply your natural traits. It's asking you to be your full self. So hopefully you can take something away and apply it into your business. And this can help to jumpstart or continue your process of making lifelong shifts and changes that results in fast, tangible results in your business in the most aligned way. And when you do that, you're not just collapsing timelines, you're leaping forward. You're accessing a multidimensional realm of different possibilities that you can pull from different alternatives, because you're doing really beautiful things in your business and in this world, and the world needs you. And it feels good when you're doing and showing up for service, because when you're getting results, your clients are also getting results. And by taking those small actions every day and those movements, that actually shows that you're really committed to the expansion and activating your wealth portal and creating and generating further wealth for others as well. And so if you're ready to step across your threshold into your next level business growth, I hope you've enjoyed this mini class or episode or video, whatever we call it, because what I'd like you to do is to go much deeper into connecting with your energetics from the masculine and the feminine energies. So I have a couple of programs available, and I just want you to check out the notes below, because they will have the links to the programs, and together I'd love us to transform your approach to business and rewire not just the brain. I don't like talking about rewiring, but the energy as well. Because you don't want to put off another day of living away from your purpose and claiming your modern empire. So I would just encourage you, or I'd invite you to check out the links, or just jump over to my website, and I will see you on the other side. So please let me know if this has helped you, and also share with others. I'd love you to share this with others and send your comments. And I love looking at them, and I love reading and listening to the comments. And if there's anything else that you'd want me to talk about or cover off to help you grow your business, I'd love to hear from you. So thank you so much, and I appreciate you. And this is your time.